What's up, YouTube? This is TheBillyBobHD bringing you another Let's Play. Today I've got some more Hearts of Iron 4. We're playing as Greater Finland. Last episode we were closing and plugging the gap up here in the north against a tremendous amount of allied divisions. You can see now we're up to 19 and even more than 19 divisions up here. And so I've got, let's see, 11 divisions that have dug in pretty heavily up here. And they're trying to hold that gap against the Allies coming in and attacking from up there in the north. Meanwhile, the Germans have invaded the Soviet Union, which has been pretty crazy. And you can see now they're moving in towards Minsk here, which I think in the last episode we were saying, you know, the overall strategy here is to let the Germans get closer to Leningrad before we help join the war, which would allow us to hopefully stop this invasion from occurring over here on the Soviet line to my east, and then maybe we could take Leningrad even with the help from the Germans, which would boost our productivity and our industry significantly, right? The Germans, of course, are calling me into the war as much as they want, or as much as they can, I should say, which I keep denying them. I have 9 civilian factories now at work for me, which I think we need to get some more to trade for some of those resources that we're seeing. And so they're finishing up those land forts there along the line of the Soviet Union, just in case they decide to invade me here earlier than I'm expecting. And so things looking pretty good here for the Romanians, especially here in the southern part of the front, as they continue to move towards Sevastopol, which is pretty cool. Let's double check our air superiority here. Still looking good across the lines and such. Double check our research. We have 4 research slots open and available to us now, so we're researching those light tank 3s, assembly line production, close air support 1, and then the Kampfgruppe there, which we're going to continue moving down this line if we can, and eventually get the Volksgruppe and the non-discriminatory conscription, because I'm down to 105k now in manpower, and most of that is being burnt up here in the north, but this is something that is a requirement. This is a non-negotiable. We have to hold them here, otherwise they will overrun my country. We're only experiencing 436 now in recruitable population every month. So every month we get a little bit of a boost, but it's not really helping me, because you can see here now my casualties up to 35k as opposed to Norway, who's got 408k now in casualties. So as they continue to push and burn that manpower here, we continue to hold pretty nicely, which is great. I think I've got extensive conscription already. We could eventually go to all adults serve there, which would give me some additional manpower, right? I would love to be able to train up some new divisions and such, especially when we get those tanks researched out. I have tons of army experience. So if we go to the armored division here, you can see my light tanks now are filled out in here. Let's go ahead and add some more like this, just to get that combat width up a little bit further. Motorized infantry and motorized infantry. Nice. So that gives us up to 20. We can put support artillery into this, engineering company. Of course, we're going to need the field hospital, and then finally get the recon company in there. That's only going to cost me 60 there to produce. That's good. And with an overall manpower of 10,100, compared to my infantry guys is 10,800. So I feel okay with that. Are we producing out motorized? We should be, though, since we have those field hospitals going, yes, and I've got a stockpile built up of those motorized units at over 2.2k there. Actually, we're stockpiling across the front now, or across all production lines, which is great. So you can see we're also missing that steel and oil to produce out the subs and convoys, and then some of the infantry stuff up here. We do have the latest and greatest for everything else, though. Support equipment wise, we've got a smaller stockpile at 921, but my fighter 2s now producing out very nicely, almost 1 per day, 5 per week, I guess. We've got 300 of those in the stockpile that I could use eventually, and that's on top of the smaller air wings that I have assigned here up in the north. Very good. So the Germans continue to drive eastwards. We're playing on speed 4 there just to try to speed that up before we can actually try to do something to help out on the Eastern Front. I only have one division sitting down here by Leningrad, which is a little scary. And it does look like, from what I can tell from my espionage here, that the Soviets continue to pull units away from this front in order to try and help stop the Germans. Liberia joined the Allies, which is interesting. Do we have the U.S. in the war yet? It is only 1941. Okay, Liberia joins the Allies in the rest of the war, which makes sense. Greece also joined up last episode, as well as Ireland, which happened pretty quickly. But you've got Australia in there, as well as the British Raj. France has capitulated. Oh my god, look at this. Armor effort is finished now. We could go to the Special Forces here next. So what does this do? It gives a research bonus for your paratroopers, Marines, and mountain infantry. Cool. I don't need mountain infantry, especially if we're looking at helping invade the Soviets, just because this is all going to be flatter terrain over here, swampland and such. It is August 1941, so the winter is going to be coming up soon here. So the more the Germans can push forward here in the summer and fall, the better off we are going to be. This is a little concerning as well now that you can see the Allies actually invading back into France and the Germans and Italians trying to surround them and push that back a little bit. But really surprising to see Australia here gaining that little pocket, and then UK having a little pocket up here by Denmark as well. So the Allies really crushing it as far as... wow. As far as the invasions go. My fleet now is up to a size of 17. So I've got those two heavy cruisers. Heavy cruiser ones, I should say. They are still considered green. Automatic split off. Repair now. Never repair. No. We'll go with a repair priority of medium there, just to put them out towards the sea a little bit further so they can help out, get into some battles and such. Formation spread of 90%. We are only doing the convoy escort right now, though, just to protect my trade. 10 steel and 10 oil and 12 steel needed at the moment. Nice. This factory is about to finish up now with this other land fort, so we've almost finished. I'm going to buy another steel from the Germans here really quickly. So that takes me down to 8 civilian factories, but we have started construction on a brand new one, which is going to come in January now of 1942. So only 10 days left now in the close air support. Let's go back here. It is 1941 again, so I think the next one we're going to get is the Concentrated Industry 4 at 190 days there, just to help get some extra building slots and boost up my production even further. So you've got that infantry equipment level 2 now. That has totally filled out my front lines, which is great. So the next one's going to be 1942. So coming up, we can switch into the Weapons 3 production there. And I've got a 100% bonus on that. So it's going to take half as long for me to research out that Weapons 3, which I definitely want to do and start producing those so I can fill out my infantry lines even further with those AK-47s and those nice brand new infantry level 3 equipment. Okay. Close air support is done. We could get you up to a level 2. It's still September. It might make sense to actually try to research this early. The bigger the time penalty. Okay. Let's go with Concentrated Industry 4 there. So I've got another 28 days on the Kampfgruppe there, which we're going to swing right into the Volkssturm. So then I've almost got to wait until assembly line production is done until I can get that infantry equipment level 3 going for us. So continuing to build up. Nice. The Italians have actually reinforced up here on my northern border with a division, an infantry division. Thank you, guys. Sweet. The Soviets continue to thin out their lines over here, which is fantastic. But then you can see these motorized units moving back upwards, which is kind of weird. Total need of 2, so we filled that really quickly, though. Okay, so that means we've got like 25k in stockpiled weapons 1. Stockpiled weapons 2 now. Week produced in 1 lines. Yeah. So just seeing that little bit of a need there makes me think that we don't have a big stockpile of weapons too. But this is telling me the sort of the opposite here, with over 9,000, which must be distributed out into my army, I would think. Sitting at 106k still now, which is great because that was down towards 105k at the beginning of the episode, and was definitely a lot lower than what we're seeing right now. Okay, Minsk now. The Axis is on the doorstep of Minsk that we can see. So hopefully they're going to continue to roll into that, which, again, go guys, go, 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 go. Looks like they're getting in there. They are putting up a stout defense around the city, though, around the city perimeter. And the Germans are coming up now on my border of Estonia, which will be pretty cool to see. Available planes in reserve, 376 Fighter 1s. Although we are producing out those Fighter 2s, and so if I go here and look at my stockpile, yeah, that's not working right either. That must be a bug because... Okay, actually no, that does make sense now, because we're working on upgrading our current air wings to that fighter level 2 there. Research slot is available, so let's get the Voltskrum. 264 days now until that's going to occur for us. So once that happens, I can start producing out some more infantry divisions, and a couple of tank divisions would be nice as well. You can see we've got the Light Tank 2 availability there. Light Tank 3's only got 44 days left now. And once that happens, I'm going to start... I'm definitely going to start producing those out, right? Just to make those light tank divisions. We could go medium tank divisions a little bit later in the game and eventually get to the modern tank, which... you know, that's going to be very, very late game for us here. But so far we are surviving. Double checking now on this new pocket from the Germans. And so I hate to see this because this is really going to take away from what the Germans are throwing into the Soviet front, right? They've got this surrounded, at least in Belgium. And they've got it surrounded. They've got the problem surrounded over here too in northern Germany as well. But the really scary thing that we're seeing here is Berlin is probably being threatened here right off the bat. You can see now we can modify the government. Chief of Navy, tank designer. Reliability plus 5%. Not using tanks quite yet, so it does make sense to look over here. Heavy aircraft designer, light aircraft designer. So fighters and carrier fighters get a bonus. Heavy fighters get a bonus over here, as well as tactical bombers. Strategic bombers. And then, of course, naval. So, the fall of Cairo. Jubilant Italian soldiers entered Cairo today. Very good. Nice, Italy. Thank you. Air research time, minus 10%. That's strategic bombing. Man, I almost want to go for the medium, right? Tactical bomber. We'll go light aircraft for now. We are in total immobilization in closed economy. I'm not going to switch over the conscription laws quite yet. We do need a new national focus. Wasn't paying attention there. Bomber focus there. Strategic bomber, tactical bombers, heavy fighters, and regular fighters here. Close air support. Let's go to fighter focus now. That'll help us when we go up to fighter level 3 eventually. Which we'll want to look at that as soon as we can. Production-wise now, we're down to 5 days on the assembly line production, and only 22 days left on the Light Tank 3 production. So once this assembly line production finishes out, Nationalist Spain joined the Axis. Thank God. We're going to need your troops and your support. I'm going to go to the weapons level 3 here very, very shortly. It's only going to take me 3 months to get there in terms of research, so that'll be good. It is November of 1941, so it is going to be a tad early, but not so early that the bonus is going to crush me completely, so... Okay, let's go ahead and get that. Nationalist Spain has joined the war. Very good. So hopefully that means the Spanish will... They've got like 75 divisions or so. The fall of Gibraltar, great. So they moved in and grabbed that from the British right away. You can see all of their divisions now collecting and moving, and you guys really need to move northwards towards Bordeaux and try and help break through this invasion that's occurred now. Holy shit. Germans struggling now. And you can see actually we're showing as red across the front now here on the eastern front, so the Axis is not looking very hot right now, not looking very good. I don't have enough manpower to really help out with any of these like I have in like my Romanian campaign, for example. This is actually shrinking now, which is great to see. The Germans actually making progress there. Italians are trying to help out as well, although they are working on Greece now and trying to invade over there. Greece took Albania somehow in this campaign, which is kind of nuts. And then you can see down here in Africa, they were supposed to have reached Cairo. Did they? Alexandria still is held by the Allies, but yes, Cairo does actually fall into Axis hands now, which is fantastic. Oh, look at all that red across the eastern front there. Kind of scary. Has Sweden joined anybody yet? Okay, we are boosting. That's right, we are boosting the fascism there for them. Light Tank 3 done now. Okay, so I want to actually start a production line with them. I might take a factory or two away from the infantry equipment production. I'll start producing out Light Tank 3s. Okay, and yes, I will take 2 factories away from the infantry equipment production and plug you into the Light Tank 3 production there. Missing that oil badly. I think I might want to trade away for 1 oil. Yeah, we do have now this coming up fast. Again, this is going to be done when? In January. So we can actually do a trade-off here. Buy another round of oil from the Soviets, which is kind of funny since they're threatening me so badly. Light Tank 3 done. Good to see. I think it does make sense now to get the construction level 4. We are working on a bunch of these other ones. Ooh, we could grab this updated artillery really quickly there at 45 days. That's an easy one. I want to get that for us. Man, is there anything I can do to help plug some air power in somewhere? You know, that reminds me, tactical bombers might be a really good way to go. Next, to help bomb. Medium bombers need to be versatile and fast, capable of fulfilling a range of roles. Twin engine design, remaining relatively light, can continue to be of use for many years to come. So the cool thing about those tactical bombers is you can bomb infrastructure or troops with those, which will be valuable. But I do have the close air support that's researched as well. So it's really going to be a decision between the tactical bomber and the close air support. The tactical bomber may actually make more sense for us. I don't know. Let's see. Let's take a look at their stats, though. A comparison of their stats. So close air support, for example. Air attack 9, air defense, ground attack of 10. And then the tactical bomber has a, what? Ground attack of 6. So not as... Strategic bombing of 12. No strategic bombing over here, of course. So it's almost like the close air support is the most helpful to my troops right off the bat. Close air support 3 has a ground attack of 20 as opposed to the 10 here. And then close air support 2 has got the 15. Okay. So I only have 25 air experience. I can't make a variant on that close air support 1 quite yet. We could, let's go back and reevaluate over here now. Producing over 1 per day of the Fighter 2s now, which is important. But let's open up a close air support line. Where can I take factories away from? I might go ahead. Japan declared war on the U.S., so they're going to be entering the war. It's only December of 1941, so That's a little scary. I'll take one factory away from the light tank 3 production there, just so we can start stockpiling those. It's going to be a little while before I have more manpower. And then I'll plug one into the close air support there and get that going, get that up and running. 24 days left now on the improved artillery, and 1941 right now, so it does make sense. We'll get a couple of those close air support 1s produced out, and then we'll move up to the close air support 2. Yeah. But really quickly, too, how much different are these from the nav bombers? You guys have naval attack of 1, and then the nav bombers, of course, have naval attack of only 2? Really? 1.5. They're not that much better than the close air support, really. 2.5 versus... Whoops. 2.5 here on the level 3s versus only a 1. Okay, so when you get towards the later game, the nav bombers start to get really more valuable in terms of that naval attack. So we might want to open those up eventually as well. Still looking good from a naval perspective, right? We've got 105% naval supremacy. And then air-wise, still looking good there as well. So we're just going to need some time again for these efficiencies to start growing, because we do have the assembly line production now. And close air support 1, you know, you're only producing out one of those, 1.5 of those per month. Fighter focus is done. We could go to... Oh, we need the aviation level 2 now. I already got the naval effort there to get the extra dockyards. Let's go to aviation level 2. Okay. 107k now in manpower. We continue to hold the line up here, which is great. They've pretty much given up, it looks like. We've got 450 extra fighters available to us now to throw into the mix when the time comes. The Soviets have still refrained from declaring war on me, which is good. Oh, this is great to see up here. You can see those Spanish units now moving northwards and helping crush that French rebellion up here, an invasion. And the good news over here, too, is Australia. The Australian invasion has failed as well. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So Axis back on the rise, which will hopefully let the Germans reinforce the Soviet lines here. And once we get closer to spring, do a little bit better for us with that. Okay, time to pick this last research here before the end of the episode. And let's go ahead with close air support 2. Although I do have a bonus on the way. A research bonus coming to me for that. So does it make more sense to go back over here to industry and start the construction research? Yeah, let's get construction level 4, 190 days. Okay. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Again, this has been TheBillyBobHD. Please remember to like, subscribe, and/or comment if you've enjoyed this content, and we'll catch you next time.